Welcome. Thank you all for clicking on this video that covers the major planetary aspects and transits for the week of October 8th through October 15th. If you've followed this channel for a while, you know that I've been trying to reorganize so that I can create better content or more diverse content to talk about astrology in a broader way, and actually not just broad but more in-depth way to cast my net in different areas. But the way that I was doing it was basically using up all of my notifications and overloading the system. So what I'm trying this week is to consolidate all of the 12 zodiac signs into this one video and get all of you on the same week, the same time span, while still giving you the same information. So I will start with the big stuff, the stuff that impacts everybody, and then I will break down by each zodiac sign, Scorpio all the way through Libra. A Scorpio all the way through Libra. I'm just gonna go right around the zodiac. I will leave the timestamps down below for you so that you can get right there. Once you click the timestamp on your specific zodiac sign, I will quickly review the big stuff, and then I will break everything down into what zodiac sign specific information you will need this week. And then I'll break everything down into the 3 decans for that zodiac sign so that you know exactly how you are going to be impacted based on the position of your natal sun, your birth date. So in the beginning, I think everybody should be watching the big stuff, right? But there's one video now, so you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait till the end of the week to get the next zodiac sign. It's all going to be in one video, and you can click and peruse between any videos or any of the zodiac signs that is right for you without having to wait. And I want you to play, and I want you to enjoy. And I want you to leave your comments below to let me know how this energy is impacting you, but also how do you like this new format. This week covers October 8th through the 14th. The 14th is the new moon solar eclipse in Libra, and I did its own video. I did a solo video just for that. And by consolidating all the videos into one, that's what it enables me to do. It enables me to dive deeper into astrology and talk about astrology from different perspectives and make different videos instead of just being locked into and stuck with the frame by frame, zodiac by zodiac videos every single week. It just helps me to be able to diversify the kind of content that I can create over here with regards to astrology. So I definitely am going to attach the link above, and if you watch to the end of this video, it will be on the end frame of this video too. You can just click right on it and get right to it if you want an in-depth analysis of October 14th, new moon solar eclipse in Libra. Not only how it's going to impact everybody, but also who it's specifically going to impact the most and where you can view it from. I've also blogged about this over on my website, so you might want to check that out too. All of the information is in those videos. So let's dive in right now for this week into the big stuff. And you guys will see, because I filmed this over the course of the week for the week ahead, you'll see that my clothes change because it's different days that I'm filming it on, but that's nice too because it gives me that sort of leeway to be able to do that. So big stuff, October 8th through the 14th of 2023, we have 2 major transits, and they transit not far from each other, and they're sextile while they do it. I am talking about Venus and Mars. Venus on October 9th transits into Virgo while it is in opposition to the sun. To Saturn and semi-square to the sun. Let me tell you, Venus is not in a position of messing around or joking around or frivolity. She's in her fall position in Virgo, so she's very not frivolous. She's very, I think, practical minded and serious. Anybody who has a natal Venus in Virgo will tell you what speaks to their heart the most is consistency and even a traditional mentality. They like to know you're going to be there for them, right? This is also a beautiful energy for getting your finances together because it's very practical, it's very economical, and it's going to be very responsible. So a lot of these restrictions, but okay, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be pleasurable. And that's why she's at her fall position, right? Because Venus is all about luxury and pleasure and the joie de vivre. Not in Virgo, she's not. She just doesn't have that kind of leeway in Virgo. She's in her fall position. Also, while she shifts into this position, this new zodiac sign, Virgo, she is in opposition to Saturn, which makes it even more intense and restrictive and serious. Take things seriously. Do things right. Stop being frivolous. It's about being grown up and mature. So all of a sudden, shit gets real when it comes to Venus and value and money. It really, shit gets real. And about our relationships and the commitment we've made to other people. Anybody born under this configuration is going to love very seriously and need a very traditional structure to their love and be motivated or turned on by people who have their shit together and can spell out the next 6 months to them. Schedules and reliability are huge with this energy. It can also put a damper on a lot of things. The opposition to Saturn for some people can feel very oppressive, like all the joy that has just been sucked out of their life. And it could be when obligations all of a sudden hit really hard. I don't think it's a coincidence that this energy is taking over at the time when a lot of, at least in the United States, our student loans start to hit. They could also, in some ways, inspire a lot of shit to hit the fan. Just an FYI. On October 12th, Mars, while sextile to Venus, moves into Scorpio. Now, Mars is in Libra right now. It takes a little while to get things done. It's very almost debilitating for Mars to be in Libra because it's all about intellect. It's all about even things out. It's all about, equality. That's not what Mars in Scorpio was about at all. Mars is at home in Scorpio. Mars was the traditional ruler of Scorpio, but this is where vengefulness, and this is where anger, and this is where just, even in some ways, overindulgence on your own interests and pleasures can come into play. It can also be where underhanded action starts to take place. So Mars is very confident and can conquer the world in Scorpio without anybody know it's actually doing it. So what makes this even more intense is while Mars enters Scorpio, and for all this week, Mars is going to be square to Pluto. And Pluto, of course, is your modern ruler. This is an intense energy that takes everything to the extreme. It's basically in a very aggressive position as Mars enters Scorpio. I mean, Mars square Pluto in any sign is going to be intense and aggressive and sort of asserting dominance or having the sort of these dominance conflicts, right? But with Mars in Scorpio, forget about it. Forget about it. This is like, I want to dominate. I want to take this shit over. This is really hard to ignore pugilistic energy that's really being stimulated here. But Mars in Scorpio isn't that blatant, is it? Nothing in Scorpio is that blatant. So it can also be very subverted and underhanded. This is really interesting energy that I am definitely going to watch. But certainly this has amped up Mars's energy intensity as well as its conviction after coming out of Libra. It's almost like, in a lot of ways, as Pluto starts to slow down, it's not going any deeper into Capricorn. It's going to post direct pretty soon. So it's almost like Scorpio is like, it's almost like this scorpionic Pluto energy is like, I know who I have to come after now, and I'm going to relentlessly pursue that shit. I'm not going to let anything slide. It's almost like as Pluto starts to move stationary and then post direct, with Mars and Scorpio is like, I know exactly where to send my henchmen, and it's not going to be pretty. I'm just saying, like, that's the kind of energy it has right now. And sextile to Venus, that is an opposition to Saturn. And remember, Mars is trying to Saturn. So honestly, it knows exactly who to go for and what to go after, what laws and rules it has to follow. And this opposition to Venus, this sextile to Venus, means there's almost like this forensic accounting going on in some ways, because Venus is in Virgo. So guys, this could be the next month or so, could be when the shit hits the fan. I'm just saying, especially for financial things, shady stuff, sort of the big comeuppance. It could be. I don't know. Let's see. What else do we have? The sun all week long is going to be in opposition to Chiron. So this is really making us remember and learn from the challenges that we've experienced. This could also put a damper on, especially with a semi-square to Venus, where Venus is in opposition to Saturn. This could put a damper on how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about how capable we are, how productive we can be, what is our life purpose, are we allowed to be who we want to be? All of those things can come up with the sun opposite Chiron all week long. Now, we have the full moon in Libra. And the full moon in Libra, like I said, I've already gone through, I've made a whole video just on that, but let's review really quick. The full moon in Libra also creates a annular solar eclipse. That's that ring of fire everybody talks about. What it means is that the moon is too far away from the perspective on Earth. The moon is too far away from us for it to block out the entire sun. So you still see part of the sun with the moon in front of it, and that's what makes it look like a fire ring. If we were having this solar eclipse in the middle of a supermoon, this would be a total eclipse, because the moon would be closer to us, it would take more space in our ocular perspective, and it would block out the whole sun. So it's the fact that the moon is a little farther away that gives us that annular eclipse. And I gotta say, I think it's so much fucking cooler. It is so cool. It's beautiful looking, and you don't look straight at it, of course, you do not do that, but oh my God, how awesome. I'm just really cool. Anyway, it's visible especially in North America, where I am in Austin, Texas. San Antonio, Texas is like ground zero. It's like around 11:52. It's going to have the perfect view of it over here, and I know that it goes right up through the west. It's going to be a perfect view in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I think a part of Northwest Nevada, as well as I think Southeast Oregon. It kind of carves right through the west. It almost skips California entirely. So I don't know what that means, but what this means astrologically is that there's major shifts and major changes that are going to be happening, especially because this is an opposition to Chiron, and conjunct to the South Node. Chiron has to do with the past. It has to do with pain from the past and how life challenges you in order to teach you what you need to be and do and become to be the best version of yourself. Well, this is almost like a birth canal for rebirth. And between this new moon and the full moon in Libra 6 months later on March 25th, we might discover that we are completely different people, or our situation has totally changed. This is major energy. Now, I write down on October 11th, Pluto, bitch, I told you it was going direct. On October 11th is when Pluto posts direct while it is squared to Mars. Send out your henchmen. I swear to God, it is like Saruman sending out the Black Riders. Remember with that ring? I'm not even kidding. It's really crazy. It's almost all of a sudden it's like they coming to get your ass. It makes me feel that way. So Pluto Mars is heat. It's hot. It's aggressive. It's assertive. It's ambitious energy, power struggles, and dominance. I think especially Scorpios are going to be feeling this. Mars is in the first decan of Scorpio while this happens. And so especially Scorpios are going to kind of feel this rumble in their belly, and I would not want to confront them anytime soon. Let's start breaking these in. Hold on, I just want to see. Begins in Oregon. Oh, I was talking about the lunar eclipse. This new moon is conjunct South Node. Your past, conjunct the South Node, opposition to Chiron. Your past difficult lessons in life provide deep healing in relationships. Because it's a South Node opposite Chiron, it feels like there could have been major injury here. There could have been major assault. There could have been major attack, especially through partnerships or in order to break free of something that has to do with liberation and the need for independence and individuality versus partnership. This is coming up from our past, and there is a definite modality change with regards to it. Yeah, let's move on to the zodiac sign specific stuff. And like I said, we're going to start top of the morning to you, Scorpio. Let's get right into it. And I'm going to write down when I begin so that I don't have to rush through. So Scorpio, let's go into Scorpio specific energy. What's happening in the zodiac sign of Scorpio? Mars is coming home, baby. It's coming up. October 12th, Mars enters Scorpio while squared to Pluto, especially for Scorpio ones. Ground zero with this energy just plops in. You've already probably started to feel it even at the beginning of the week, because beginning of the week, Mars is at 27 degrees Libra. So most of your natal suns, if you're born on the Libra Scorpio cusp, you guys are already feeling this. October 21st, 22nd, 23rd birthdays, y'all are already feeling this shit. You're going to feel it all week long, and then it's going to boom, drop October 12th, and it's just like, let me tell you, this is when the bass drops. Boom, boom. You know, it's like, here's when the fucking bass drops. And you're going to feel the vibrations. There's an intensity, a certainty, a conviction, a ruthlessness that could come over you. Dominant issues, conflicts, and aggression, especially in the first couple of weeks of this energy. It's going to be hard to calm your asses down. Just an FYI. Let's talk about what's going on with your ruling dignitaries. What's happening with Mars? Well, okay. We know Mars is entering Scorpio on the 12th, square to Pluto. It's also trine to Saturn. And it's conjunct the South Node when it enters. It conjuncts the South Node when it enters Scorpio. By the end of the week, it'll be a little too far out for a tight conjunction, but it'll still be in a loose conjunction with the South Node. So there is definitely some, I'm going to get somebody back. I'm going to get my goddamn revenge. Are you kidding me? Mars conjunct South Node square to Pluto. That is sending out the henchmen. That is sending out the henchmen. Somebody is trying. It could be very aggressive energy. Somebody is trying to get at you. It'll definitely be an exposure of the actions that they've been taking. I tell you, it really will. We also have Pluto square to Mars, trine to Uranus, sextile to Neptune, square the nodes. Pluto is also square this new moon eclipse, making everything more intense and making everything more permanent. Let's break everything into the decans, shall we, Scorpio? If you know your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Scorpio, it is in the first decan of Scorpio. So you guys are Scorpio ones. This correlates to birthdays between, say, October 22nd through October 31st. Your natal suns are the ones conjunct Mars, especially those of you at the cusps. All week long, this is going to be already cuspers. Your natal suns are square to Pluto as well. Not so much those of you born more toward Halloween, but definitely excuse me guys, I'm sorry. Definitely those of you who are born at the cusp of Libra and Scorpio. Your natal suns have been, for quite some time, trine to Saturn and square to Neptune, which is very intensely creative and psychic energy. If you were born at this cusp, the cusp between Libra and Scorpio. So I would say if your birthday is October 21st, October 22nd, your natal suns are going to be conjunct this new moon. It's a loose conjunction. It's about a 9-10 degree conjunction. But your natal suns are going to be conjunct the new moon as well. So what I would do is I would go to that new moon video and I would watch the predictions for Libra, because that's the fucking energy you guys are going to be experiencing. This is an intense life purpose changing energy. This something of how you change your whole perspective and understanding of what is important to you in this lifetime. Something becomes truly revealed to you by making up for the past. And the fact that you guys are at ground zero for Mars, this could have a lot to do with a major confrontation or blow up happening in your life. This is a very intense fucking week for you guys. 100%. Let's go on to, and listen, I could try to tell you to watch your anger. I don't think it's going to be that way. I don't think it's going to be that way. You may be dealing with some out and out attacks on you, or simply being able to finally attack back somebody who tried to hurt you. This is just an FYI. Let's go on to Scorpio 2. Once again, I'm not encouraging anything. I'm just saying watch this energy because it can overwhelm you. And when you have Mars conjunct your natal sun, conjuncting a new moon solar eclipse square to Pluto, this could take you to extremes you cannot come back from. So it is very important to be vigilant with this energy, that you, as much as you can, remain at the steering wheel. And when you can't anymore, you get to a place of as much peace as you can find, so that you know this isn't going to dominate you. But there will be conflicting issues with, in terms of dominance, in terms of who rules who. And usually with a square to Pluto, whoever is in leadership wins. So it's something that you just need to be wary of this week. FYI. Now, really, I'm going to go on to Scorpio 2s. If you know your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Scorpio, you guys are Scorpio 2s. This correlates to birthdays between November 1st and the 11th, in and around there. Your natal suns, you kind of have a peaceful week, to be honest with you. There's a lot of tumultuousness with Scorpio 1s, but with you guys, your natal suns are far enough away. You have a long-term opposition to Jupiter and a quincunx to Chiron, which is definitely active during this new moon. So there could just be some energies of taking things to the extreme, having a little more energy or a little more inspiration to face certain, in other words, issues are going to come up that remind you that you have to heal some stuff from the past and start looking in different directions, maybe different cultures, maybe different languages, maybe foreign countries, or people who are different than you, to start finding solutions to the stuff that has been bothering you or irritating you. Either way, it is definitely a time period for you to expand and broaden the scope to find solutions or get access to solutions that you haven't looked into yet. Let's go on to Scorpio 3s. So if your natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Scorpio, you guys are Scorpio 3s. This correlates to birthdays in and around the 12th of November through the 22nd of November, right up to the Sagittarius cusp. Your natal suns are square to Venus in Virgo. So this is going to make you feel really conflicted and restricted, and this could even be a real slapdown when it comes to your finances. So if you start feeling those conflicts and things aren't moving along smoothly in terms of anything that you valued or desired, things are all of a sudden, they just got real, and they could feel really confining for you this week. This could also include, yes, your desires, your romantic partnerships, and even how much things stimulate you. Could all of a sudden feel like it's all of a sudden big old clamp down. There's an opposition to Uranus that's just been happening for a long time, but with all this other activity, this could really this could be a week where you feel really, really restricted and not able to be free or express yourself. So there could be a lot of conflict around that. There's a long-term sextile to Pluto. which just gives you a very formidable, powerful energy, and people will pay attention to what you do. A square to Saturn right now, which means there's conflict with authority already, as well as feeling restricted or confined by obligations. And then we have a trine to Neptune. So I put down right away this sextile to Pluto and square to Saturn, dominance, power, and fortitude. Get it done. I said get it done kind of tendency. So that's the positive use for this energy. This mentality of, okay, I'm just going to work. I'm just going to bust my ass this week. I'm going to go for it and I'm just going to get it done. This is a really good week to put your energy and focus into the grind and making sure things are done well and done great. But when it comes to other issues, especially more personal issues, this could really grind on you, and you could feel like people are trying to dominate you, very suffocated, and you'll have a lot of control conflicts this week, especially in personal situations. I hope this has helped, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this message. Please do remember to like and subscribe to this channel and share this information with people that you think are going to enjoy it. And Scorpio ones, please don't forget to go and watch the Libra predictions. Libra predictions for the new moon solar eclipse. Very important energy. All right, let's go on to Libras. So Libra, this is for the week of October 8th through the 14th, 2023. I hope you have watched the big energy. We're going to go into Libra specific energy right now. What is Venus doing and what's happening in Libra? Well, there's a shit ton happening in Libra. Like almost everything is freaking happening in Libra. Let's go over it frame by frame. It's going to be mostly a review because I've been talking about it like crazy because of this new moon that's happening. Mars exits Libra on the 12th to go into Scorpio. So Mars moves between 27 degrees Libra and 0 degrees Scorpio. I actually think 1 degree Scorpio by the end of this week. So Mars is exiting. Those of you born on the Libra Scorpio cusp, this would be 20th, 21st, 22nd of October, you are going to feel Mars still. You're going to feel it all freaking week long. FYI, it's still going to be conjunct your natal suns. The sun is in Libra and it's moving between 14 degrees to 21 degrees this week. At 21 degrees is when the moon meets the sun for this new moon solar eclipse. Please go check out that whole video that I did on the new moon solar eclipse coming up. It's happening on October 14th. The moon enters Libra on the 12th. That means on the 12th, the moon will be conjunct the natal suns of Libra 1s. It's on the 13th, it will conjunct the natal suns of Libra 2. And it is Libra 3s, especially those of you born around the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, that are really going to be impacted by this new moon because it's conjuncting your natal suns. The sun is conjunct your natal suns. The sun is actually going to be conjunct the natal suns of Libra 2s into Libra 3s. We'll get through that when we get into the decans. And so, interestingly enough, because the sun moves into the third decan of Libra on the 13th. So, interestingly enough, those of you on the 13th, especially those of you born at the end of the second decan, so around the 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th, are going to get their own preview of this new moon because both the sun and the moon will conjunct your natal sun. They won't be conjuncting each other when it happens, but they will both skim over your natal sun prior to the actual eclipse. We also have the South Node, of course, in Libra at 24 degrees Libra, and we have Mercury. Like, can we not forget about this? It's hard with everything happening with the eclipse, but Mercury is in Libra too, and it's moving fast. It is full speed right now. It is moving between 6 degrees and 17 degrees. Mercury is fucking flying. It is flying through Libra. It's what it does when it's direct. It moves really quickly. So it's going to move between the first and the second decan this week, and it'll be in the second decan during this eclipse. In fact, it'll be at 17 degrees during this eclipse, and the eclipse happens at 21 degrees Libra. So technically, Mercury is also conjunct to this solar eclipse. In fact, it's in a tighter conjunction than Mars is. So there's some sort of information or verbal confrontation that is going to frickin' be happening, especially for you guys born between the, I would say, 10th and the 15th of October, especially for you guys. Some sort of verbal confrontation or information that drops. Oh, let's go on to Venus. What the heck is happening with her? A lot. She's transiting into Virgo. We already covered that in the big stuff on the 9th. She's in opposition to Saturn all week long, which has a very dulling and dimming impact on her. It makes things feel really restricted and sad, and it's like, oh, there's no joie de vivre, especially the fact that she's entering Virgo while that happens. Now, just Virgo energy alone slows Venus down. There's just not as much pleasure there for her because it's her fall position. But the fact that she's in opposition to Saturn, this is a really wah-wah kind of energy. And you'll feel it, you guys. You'll feel it up through the end of this week. It's I think by the 17th that Venus clears this opposition with Saturn, and we're going to start to feel a lot of relief. She is sextile to Venus, sextile to Mars this whole time, which means she might have more virility and stimulus. She's definitely inspired to take action, right? But it could more be about, I want to take things seriously. I need commitment, as opposed to sensuality and sexuality. And Venus is also going to be semi-square to the new moon. I think it's about a 48-degree semi-square to this new moon on the 14th, which just once again gives it that little rub or that nagging sensation of, I need to break free of this. I need more room. I need more space. I need to be happy again. You know what I'm saying? I think this is where the egg cracks. Things start to break here, and we really need it, actually. So let's break everything down into the decans. If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Libra, you guys are Libra 1s. This correlates to birthdays, Libra birthdays, basically September Libras, Virgo cuspers. So that would be anywhere between, say, September 22nd and October 1st. That's Libra 1s. Your natal suns are going to be conjunct to Mercury through the 10th, and that's more toward people who are born more toward October 1st or September 29th, 30th, and October 1st. Your Mercury is going to be conjunct your natal suns up through the 10th when it passes into the second decan, though you'll still feel this conjunction. What does that mean? It means articulate. You'll be really bright, and you'll take notice, and you'll realize things, and conversations will come by really, really well. Cusps only are in opposition to Neptune, which can stimulate very creative energy, but creativity to the point of distraction or messages that are coming from a place of psyche as opposed to hard quantifiable information. Get your fucking dream journals out and trust your gut this week is really what I'm trying to say to you. Your natal suns are going to be conjunct the moon on the 12th. This is really beautiful energy of self-knowledge and understanding, a feeling of confidence and certainty in who you are. And especially on this date, on the 12th, I would say trust your psyche. Trust your psychic abilities, trust your dreams, because that will put the moon in opposition to Neptune as well. So, FYI. Let's go on to Libra 2s. If you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Libra, you guys are Libra 2s. This correlates between to birthdays between, say, the October 2nd and the 11th or 12th. It's a toggle point there at the end and the beginning, but it's in and around those dates. Mercury will be conjunct your natal suns, especially if you were born around the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. By the 10th, you'll start to see Mercury's brightness, understanding, illumination, and aha. And then your natal suns are going to be conjunct the sun through the 13th. So through the 13th. If you're born toward the end of the 2nd decan, so closer to the 9th, 10th, 11th, your natal suns are going to be still conjunct the sun and conjunct the new moon as well. So definitely I would recommend for you guys born around the 9th, especially the 10th and 11th, go check out the Libra video on how Libras are going to be, the video on the eclipse that I did on how Libras are going to be impacted, because this includes you as well. And then we have a conjunction to the moon on the 13th. All of your natal suns are going to get the moon, almost like a preview of this new moon for you. So something could become clear to you prior to, or some confrontation, conflict, or information could come to you prior to this new moon eclipse. It'll start for you on the 13th is really what I'm saying. Your natal suns are semi-square to Venus and quincunx to Jupiter and in opposition to Chiron. So there is a feeling of being confined, restricted, oppressed, and that's going to start to jam you in your side and cause discomfort to stimulate you to change and take action toward making your situation better. All right, Libra 3s. This correlates to Libras between, if your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Libra, that's Libra 3s. Your natal suns are the ones actually, fully conjunct this new moon. And in reality, those of you born between, like, say, the degree 17, degree 18, degree 19, you guys are conjunct the new moon too. Libra 3s, especially those of you born, I would say, between, say, the 12th and the 15th of October, especially you guys. Anybody whose natal sun is between 20 to even 25 degrees Libra, it's going to be majorly intense for you. The sun is going to conjunct your natal sun by the 13th. The moon is going to conjunct your natal sun on the 14th. Your natal suns are conjunct the south node already, square to Pluto already, trine to Saturn already, and especially if you're born between the 12th and the 15th of October, your natal suns are really, really in opposition to Chiron. So honestly, you guys, especially those of you born the 10th through the 16th of Libra season of October, are going to have the greatest impact, especially those of you born between the 12th and the 15th of October. This is the catalyst for an absolutely dynamic change in the way that you see the world, in who you are, and how you interact with it. It doesn't have to be bad. It can be absolutely brilliant. But what I know is it's going to be huge, unignorable, profound, and permanent. Yeah, this is a metamorphosis energy for you. So I hope that this helped, and I hope this really illuminated your understanding of astrology as well as maybe your experiences this week. Don't be scared. Go ahead and comment below. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with people you know would enjoy it too. And then Libras, I hope you will also check out your tarot card readings over on Born Without Boundaries Tarot. Don't forget about those. I love you guys. All right, Sagittarius, let's go on to you guys. Sagittarius, what is happening in Sagittarius itself, in the zodiac sign? Nothing. No big stuff is there. That's kind of a relief because nothing is conjuncting your natal suns this month. But your ruling dignitary Jupiter is actually largely unaspected. And the aspects that it does make this week is they're not very permanent. There's like a temporary, a quick trine to the moon on the 11th and a quick quincunx to the sun on the 11th. So both of those things happen on the 11th. So the 11th can create some sort of inspiration or insight into different things that you have been feeling or that you want. You know, you're into what your feelings are trying to tell you. But honestly, Jupiter is at 13 degrees Taurus. And that's pretty much it. Largely, it's unaspected most of this week. What does an unaspected planet mean? That it's surprising. It's untethered. It doesn't have anything else to kind of draw its energy or focus it. And Jupiter is big. So there are going to be dynamic surprises that happen to you guys all this week. Sagittarius ones. So, excuse me, guys. I just want to quickly. Yeah, I'm not going to take it out. This is a show. I just needed to wipe my nose really quickly. I apologize. So let's start with Sagittarius ones. If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Sagittarius, you guys are Sagittarius ones. This correlates to basically November Sagittarians, November 22nd up through, say, maybe December 1st. That would be you guys. You have a long-term sextile to Pluto, which gives you a formidable, powerful energy that you will change people just by looking at them. This is long-term, so it's just an energy and a certainty about yourself to dominate the situation. And because it's a sextile, people will let you. Long-term square to Saturn, really right up through, I think, February, March of next year, which means there's sort of agitation and challenges, like confronting different kinds of obligations that you may have, different kinds of contracts that you've signed, finding different like challenges in those things to release energy. It may be a tough year for you, but it'll also be a liberating year toward the end of it. And a long-term trine to Neptune, which is a lot of creativity, a lot of mental dexterity and psychic abilities. That's for long-term too. This week, however, your natal suns are square to Venus, which means that there could be direct challenges because it's like your natal suns sit right in the middle between the Venus-Saturn opposition. Your natal suns are square to Saturn and square to Venus this week. So that's like getting hit from both sides. This sense of the major strain in your life right now will be financial obligations or contracts that you've entered into in long-term personal relationships. There can be feelings of confinement and restriction and a feeling of lack of self-expression, boredom sometimes, or just even oppression. And that could create a lot of conflict, especially in your romance or your financial situations in life. Not the best time to apply for a mortgage, especially not the best time to deal with any kind of financial issues, or no, to deal with them, yes, but definitely not to sign any new contracts. Just an FYI. Let's move on to Sagittarius 2s. If you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Sagittarius, which usually correlates to about birthdays between, say, the 2nd and the 11th. That would be you guys. Your natal suns sit right in the middle of this square between Mars and Pluto. So your natal suns are semi-square to Pluto and semi-square to Mars. This means that you will be quicker to anger, quicker to punch a bitch, and get into additional conflicts when it comes to dominance, who dominates who, especially with your superiors. So it's really, really good to give yourself a little more space and a little more wiggle room, because you may have to draw yourself back and calm yourself down a couple of times this week. There's a lot going on. Your natal suns are in a long-term trine to Chiron, which means healing from past injuries and challenges. That's all year long into next year. You have a quincunx to Jupiter, which can make your head grow. It could be just you're getting too ahead of yourself. It's optimism, but it's also like unrealistic optimism. It's just, in other words, you want to grow, you want to expand. It's not easy or obvious how you're going to get there, but it's just things are irritating you to the point where you just, I want to get the fuck out of here. That kind of energy. Bit by the travel bug. And then we have this week, from the 10th onward, a sextile to Mercury. So there's going to be major aha moments. And if you need any, you're going to take any tests or do any major interviews or presentations, I would schedule them after the 10th, because that sextile to Mercury is going to open up opportunities through how you speak and the information that you can distribute. And then the sun through the 13th is going to be sextile to your natal suns. So not during the eclipse, but definitely up right before it. The sun is going to be sextile to your natal suns. For those of you born around the 10th, 11th, 12th, even maybe the 9th of December, your natal suns are going to be sextile to this new moon. So that'll bring about a lot of freaking opportunities for a brand new start. And you'll still be through a confrontation of the past, but things will be very clear to you as to which direction to take, and movements can start to come back, especially in like Libran themes, like balancing stuff out or fair things happening to you. Let's move on to Sagittarius 3s. So if you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Sagittarius, that's you guys. This correlates to Sagittarius birthdays between, say, December 12th and December 22nd, right up to the Capricorn cusps. It's you guys, especially if you're born between the 10th and the 15th of December, that are sextile. Your natal suns are sextile to this new moon solar eclipse. This is huge advancement for you guys, huge breakthrough, and a huge leg the fuck up with whatever comes out is revealed or confronted at this time, and it's going to open up doors for you for the next 6 months. I'm not kidding you. Your natal suns are, if you're at the cusp, if you're at the Cap cusp, so November 20th through the 22nd birthdays, your natal suns are sextile to Mars, which means there's a lot of energy, productivity, and courage to you, getting things done, knowing what you want. Your natal suns are sextile to the South Node, which means opportunities coming out of experiences from the past or what you know about yourself from the past. Trine to the North Node, comfortable and easing the way toward the future, becoming so much more aware and comfortable with having to start taking over your life and making conscious decisions to make things work. Basically, it's knowing what you're good at and now knowing which direction you can carry it into. Your natal suns are sextile to the sun as of the 13th. Your natal suns are you're going to be sextile to the sun as of the 13th through the end of this week. Clearly that's the 14th. And then Sagittarius, your natal suns are going to be also sextile to this new moon. You have a long-term sextile to Saturn as well. If you are at the Capricorn cusps, that is you, but only you, which means really energetic and really getting work done and really finding a lot of opportunity over the course of this year to grow and expand. We have a square to Neptune, long-term quincunx to Uranus. That's long-term energy. This week, it's more this trine to Venus that'll impact you directly. Trine to Venus means there's some sort of balancing out or leveling out when it comes to finances, value, the way people value you, or knowing what you want. So you let me know. Overall, this is a very productive week, especially for Sagittarius 3s and those of you born between the 10th and the 15th of December, especially for you guys. Really productive about casting away the old and really reconstructing certain dynamics of your life as you are able to finally move forward over the next 6 months. I love this energy for you. You let me know, please, in the comments below how this energy is impacting you. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you're not already. And please recommend this video to somebody you know would like it. I love you guys so much. Catch you in the videos. Capricorn. Okay, let's go on to Capricorn. So what's happening in Capricorn? We have Pluto still at 27 degrees, and that is absolutely interacting profoundly with this new moon solar eclipse at 21 degrees Libra. It's also because Mars at the time of the eclipse and earlier that week is pretty much right there at the end of Libra season, and then it crosses over into the first 2 degrees of Scorpio. Mars is all week long going to be square to Pluto as well. This is highly volatile energy. It's very aggressive, it's very assertive, it's very get things done, but also so potent that it's don't take no for an answer, and could also create conflict as well. So Capricorn 3 is those of you born or those of you who have your natal suns between 20 and 29 degrees Capricorn, especially those of you born on the Capricorn Aquarius cusp. This is going to profoundly impact you all this week. Okay, if it hasn't, all this week, it's going to profoundly impact you. You guys are also going to be the ones that have your natal sun square to this new moon solar eclipse. And if you want a full rundown of that, I do that in the new moon solar eclipse video I created. I will attach it above here. What's Saturn doing? Well, Saturn is it begins the week at 1 degrees Pisces, and then it moves, retrogrades back to 0 degrees Pisces. Now, this is as far as it's going to go. We see that Pluto this week is going direct, and I think that happens on the 12th. It happens right before this new moon solar eclipse, I believe. Yeah. So Saturn is slowing down as well. It's not going to retrograde out of Pisces. It is where it's going to stay before it goes direct, and it goes direct, I think, within a couple of weeks or like a month. It's going to go direct again. So Saturn for right now is at the very, very beginning degrees of Pisces. It is trine the South Node. It will be trine this new moon. It is an opposition to Venus all week long, and it is trine to Mars. So there is a lot of, especially for those of you born toward the end of Capricorn season, a lot of tension to be released around this new moon, especially with your partnerships, your value systems, like what is important to you, how much money you make, or how much joy life has been bringing to you. It's very restricted and conflicted right now, and especially for those of you born toward the end of Capricorn season, it can get quite explosive this week. So let's get into the 3 decans of Capricorn. We have Capricorn 1s. So if your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Capricorn, it's in the first group of 10 degrees of Capricorn. So you guys are Capricorn 1s. This correlates to Capricorn birthdays in December about. So we have December 22nd through the 31st is about that, about Capricorn 1 birthdays. Your birthdays are sextile to Saturn and sextile to Mars. So whatever energy you're getting off of that, it's actually very productive energy. This could be a very productive week for you, a very powerful and potent week where you are certain of yourself and taken very seriously. And actually, I would say you guys should make moves this week, 100%, especially with your career or your vitality, things that you need a lot of energy for. This is a great week for you. You have a long-term trine to Neptune, which means long-term square to Neptune, which means your creativity is through the roof. Beautiful creativity, creative performance that needs to be expressed, needs to be released, and with these helpful energies of the sextile. See, the sextile to Saturn is really basically for you guys over this whole year. So it may not be by the week, but over this whole year, this is going to be a very productive energy for you in terms of work or career potential or opportunities. Yeah, absolutely. But this week with the sextile to Mars, it like kicks that into high gear, and people are really going to take you seriously, and you're really going to be able to move things forward. You also have a trine to Venus this week, which means you are a high value energy, and people will see you this way. There will also be a grace, fluency, and confidence or charisma to your energy. So I would say for you guys, this is definitely the week to make moves, to get out there, put yourself out there, to take chances. It's not going to be much of a chance though. It's really just going to be opportunities opening up for you, people really seeing you and taking you seriously. This is great energy for you guys. Now, if you are Capricorn 2s, which means your natal suns fall somewhere in the second group of 10 degrees or decan of Capricorn. So between 10 and 19 degrees Capricorn, correlating to basically January 1st through 11th birthdays, in and around those dates. This would be you guys. Your natal suns, and this is why it's so important to look more at the angle than at a horoscope, which is just horrible. We have a semi-square to Saturn, which is very stimulating energy, and it can absolutely, it's like a spur in your side, or it's like a nagging. It's like a prick or a pebble in your shoe. Not a pebble in your shoe. It's more like a prick on your finger. It's going to bring your attention to what needs to get done. It may not be comfortable, but it can still be productive. But you have that long-term square to Chiron, which is going to last throughout into next year, which makes you feel, or could actually be making things a lot more difficult for you throughout this year. But you also have a square to Mercury and a square to Mercury all week long, and a square to the sun up through the 13th, right before the new moon. So this is very conflicting energy. It's very challenging energy. And yes, squares indicate places in your life where energy needs to be released, where you need to look at them more and work harder on them because you haven't done enough in order to move them forward. If you pay attention to these things and you get those, you confront the challenges, then yes, you could see some major progress this week. But there will be discomfort and a lot of tension in order to get them done. Just an FYI, it's not going to be the most peaceful week for you guys. You do have a trine to Jupiter that is helping you out, and that is actually a big help. So if I had all these other squares and this semi-square, I would also want a trine to Jupiter, because at least my optimism will stay high. And I think your optimism is, of course, 100% what makes everything keep moving forward. So this optimism will really help you out, and it also implies that this is a great moment for learning and understanding something deeper, and maybe looking in different areas for wisdom that you haven't before. So this could be quite an adventure for you, though it will be tense this week. There is optimism mixed in here. Let's head on to Capricorn 3s, which I've already talked a lot about. This is those of you whose birthday is whose natal sun falls between 20 and 29 degrees Capricorn. That's the last 10 degrees of Capricorn season. This correlates to about birthdays between the 12th and the 22nd of January. It's you guys who are conjunct to Pluto, especially those of you on the Aquarius cusp, say with birthdays the 20th, 21st, 22nd, even since Pluto is since Pluto's at the 27 degrees Capricorn, maybe even the 19th. So you're conjunct Pluto, which means you're square to this new moon. You are square to Mars all week long. It's you guys that are really major changes are going to happen, and you're going to be the one that instigates them and pushes right into them. It could even be brought about because you have sort of pop-offish reactions to things. So the trick with this energy is to make sure that you stay driving the car. It's not about control, it's about guidance. And Mars square Pluto is a real easy energy to lose control over, to allow to dominate you. So it's not like, basically you can't dominate Pluto, and it's very difficult to dominate Mars. But Remain conscious of all your behavior and all your actions, and it's good to like take a breath and step back when this energy is impacting your natal sun. It's good to step back and sort of give yourself time to breathe or count to 10, to remind yourself, to give yourself that little pocket of space to remind yourselves, is this what I really want? Is this aligned with my morality? Or am I just being driven now by aggression and ambition? Which isn't horribly bad, but is it still aligned with my morality? Because you don't want to wake up in the morning, even winning, with blood on your hands. It's just not gonna be good. I'm just gonna let you know that. So this is an FYI that I would definitely look toward. It will bring up a lot of relationship issues and challenges. Your natal suns are quincunx to Venus, square to Mars, so there's a lot of tension here when it comes to sexuality, vitality, maybe even being valued or feeling like you've been devalued. It's trine to Uranus, so your natal suns have a long-term trine to Uranus. So for the next year or so, this is all about defining who you are and maintaining your independence. And if that isn't maintained, then there will be unbalance and disharmony in your situation. Sextile to Neptune gives you wonderful, wonderful control and access to your creative elements, thinking outside the box. You guys are definitely the most dynamic and change-driven right now, transformative, metamorphic. This is 100% a life-changing time for you guys. Your natal suns are going to be square to the sun after the 13th, so the last 2 days of this week, square to the new moon, and your square, long-term square to the nodes. So this is a turning point for you. This is a time of change, but it's all your natal sun, right? So it's conscious change. It's change that's happening through you. It's almost like you want this. You're starting to realize that you don't want the same things, or the life that you used to have doesn't look as good to you. So this is really your entrance into a very transformative time for you. There is a lot of tension this week. There is a lot of emotion, especially anger that needs to be released. So be aware of that. I love you guys so much. And if you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to share it. Definitely subscribe to this channel. And when you get the chance, definitely go watch that new moon eclipse video I did, and come on over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your week ahead tarot card readings. I love you guys, and I will see you in the videos. Bye. All right, let's go into Aquarius. So Aquarius, this is once again for the week of October 8th through the 14th, 2023. It is for Aquarius sun position. So I'm going by the position of your sun, not your ascendant or your moon. So what's going on in Aquarius? You're in Aquarius, nothing really. There's no major planetary bodies or luminaries that are happening in Aquarius at this time. None. We'll go over what's going on with your ruling dignitaries. Saturn, we already went over with Capricorn, but it's the same for you guys. Saturn is moving retrograde between 1 and 0 degrees Pisces. That's as far as it will go. It will not retrograde out of Pisces, but it's right there at the beginning. Saturn is trine the south node. It is trine the new moon, and it is in opposition to Venus and trine to Mars this week. So it's far more the energy of productivity as opposed to indulgence. In fact, it can be cracking down on indulgences or luxuries in order to get things done because of that opposition to Venus and trine to Mars. Certainly the fact that it's trine to the south node has an essence of, I know who I am, I know what I'm capable of, I'm certain of it, and I'm willing to take some of this, make some of the sacrifices in order to move things forward. That's very much the energy of Saturn right now. What is the energy of Uranus? The energy of Uranus is, it's at 22 degrees Taurus. That's what it will stay all this week. It is trine the moon. It will trine the moon on the 12th, so before the eclipse. It is trine to Pluto for years, long-term trine to Pluto, long-term sextile to Neptune. it's in a very I'm recreating society kind of position. So that's more background energy. But this trine to the moon on the 12th can make things very odd and interesting, delightful and unusual for you on the 12th. Just an FYI. Let's go into the decans. If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Aquarius, this usually correlates to January Aquarians. So anybody born between January 22nd all the way up through the 31st of January, that would be you guys, first decan Aquarians. Your natal suns, if you're at the cusp, so if you're, say, January 22nd, 21st, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, that's around the cusp. Your natal suns are conjunct to Pluto. I would say maybe for you guys, since Pluto is at 27 degrees Capricorn, only people who are born around the 21st, 22nd are really going to be conjunct to Pluto still. Your natal suns are also sextile to Neptune and trine to Uranus. So you guys are really still ground zero with this transformative, regenerative, reinvent society, reinvent who you are kind of energy. This is very metamorphic energy. That is long term. What is really impacting you consciously and what you will experience this week? Your natal suns are square to Mars. This is really difficult energy, guys, and it's going to get more intense as Mars moves deeper into Scorpio. So understand that you will be pop-offish this week. You can be more angry. You could be more prone to injury because you are more pop-offish. It is absolutely the week to take a breath, breathe out, exhale before you say anything, definitely before you do anything, and to try to use this energy to motivate, inspire, and actually push you, especially in terms of things that you really, really know you're good at or you already have mastered already. Watch out how you are behind the wheel. You could put the pedal to the metal a lot this week. You could be more inclined to be accusatory and defensive this week. This is something you should know and be aware of so that you show up and give your best self all week long. Your natal suns through the 10th are going to be trine to Mercury. So this will make you very articulate and your mind very, very acute. And then we also have a quincunx to Venus. This could cause tension, especially with that square to Mars, with how you feel you're being valued or feeling like your life is very restricted and kind of exacerbate wanting to argue or punch or push through a situation. And the truth is this, you may need to. It's just being aware of who you are and not letting yourself get too far. Just an FYI. Let's go on to Aquarius 2s. So if your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Aquarius, you guys are Aquarius 2s. This correlates to birthdays between February 1st and the 10th or 11th, in and around there. Your natal suns are in a long-term sextile to Chiron, which means inspiration to change yourself, change the world, and help others based on the challenges that you have faced, experienced, and wanting to sort of open doors for other people and yourself because of them. We also have a square to Jupiter, which can be sort of big-headed energy, very optimistic energy, very progressive energy, but also it could make you expect too much. So if you stay away from entitlement or expectation, this is actually really helpful energy. But if you see yourself starting to get disappointed with, oh, but that was supposed to be done by now, or they should have seen me this way, that could be the downside of the square to your sun square Jupiter. Just an FYI. We also have a semi-square to Neptune, which means something's nagging at you, and it's probably doing it through your dreams or through your psychic intuition. You may not be very familiar with it right now, but if you start feeling those things or getting more dreams, maybe try writing them down or paying more attention to them consciously to understand them. And then we have a trine to Mercury. We have a trine to Mercury from the 10th on, which means at the end of this week, it's definitely wonderful energy for you to take tests, sign paperwork. You'll be articulate, you'll be bright, conversations will be easy for you. So wherever communication is most important, do it toward the end of this week. That will be very good for you. And that semi-square to Neptune could also be kind of pushing you more toward, in other words, let it inspire you to be creative. Even if there's agitation and irritation, let it come out through inspiration and creativity, because that's really important. All right, let's move on to Aquarius 3s. Now, you're the natal suns who are going to be somehow interacting with this new moon, because of course it's in Libra. It is in an air sign, so your natal suns are the ones trying to it. Your natal suns would be between 20 and 29 degrees Aquarius. This correlates through, say, the 11th or 12th, all the way up through the end of the month, so 19th or 20th. I know February ends a little bit earlier, so it's a little bit cut off. You guys are trying to the new moon, which means this new moon and all the changes it's going to catalyze, those changes are going to end up really harmonizing or healing different aspects of your life. And to know what aspect that is, I would look to see what house it's happening in. I don't know if you're an Aquarius ascendant. I believe it is the 9th house that it's happening in, which means education, philosophy, world beliefs, world travel. So it could be catalyzing some change or shift in you in terms of what you believe, what religious organizations you want to belong to, what your ethos is. Definitely kind of switching things up for you, like what you value now, or even what you've discovered and how you understand the world. There is some easement here. There is some healing that can be coming also through foreign travel, foreign affairs, different kinds of studying, opening up your mind, different philosophies, all of these things. But I would definitely check your natal chart to see what house. Not all of you are Aquarius ascendants and Aquarius suns, so what house is it happening in is going to be really important for you. Your natal suns are trine to the sun as of the 13th. Those of you born more towards, say, the 10th, 11th, 12th are going to be trine pretty much all week long, or toward the beginning of the week. You have a long-term square to Uranus. You also have, with the quincunx to Venus, this could be frustration. This could be frustrating energy. This could also be playful energy. It's definitely mischievous energy. Let's put it that way. It's kind of mischievous, wanting to not be limited and feel like you are confined or predictable. Your natal suns are trine to Mars this week, so there will be absolute aptitude when it comes to energy and virility and certainty in action. And then you also have a longer term trine to the South Node and sextile to the North Node. So there are opportunities coming up in terms of what you can create for yourself, what you can do for yourself. And that trine to the South Node is really going to help you be accepting of where you come from, what you're good at, and then consciously aware of how you can apply that toward your future. So your life is turning a corner in a very positive and productive way. The frustration can be very stimulating here because of the quincunx to Venus and square to Uranus. This could be like if you feel confined or irritated by financial issues or relationship issues, this can be spurring you on to want to assert your independence or need a little bit of room or space. I don't think this could break your relationships up. I think it could actually make them stronger if you're able to give each other room and encourage each other's freedom and self-expression. So that is really what you want to be looking for. But the trine to this new moon, there's some sort of easement or happiness that's coming to you or community at large. I don't know, because this definitely could be a global breakthrough here, especially in the US, which is really where it's touching upon. So just an FYI globally. I love you guys so much, and if you found this interesting or this information helpful, please do recommend it to a friend, share it with them. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Oh, fly. Sorry about that. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and definitely subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. All right. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the videos. Aquarius. Okay. Let's go on to Pisces. So Pisces. Whew. your natal sun, let's talk about what's going on in Pisces right now. You have Saturn, and it's retrograding from 1 degrees to 0 degrees. It's finally crossing that threshold. It will not leave Pisces. So that means it's still conjunct to Pisces 1, but especially those of you on the Aquarius cusp, it's going to be real. It's really, really tightly conjunct to your natal sun. Now, it will not retrograde outside of Pisces. It will stay here. It's actually going to start slowing down to post-stationary and then go direct within a couple of weeks. So we're going to see Saturn turn back on pretty soon. And then we have Neptune in Pisces, which is at 25 degrees. It will stay at 25 degrees all week long. There couldn't be two more opposite energies. It's almost like there's very polarizing when it comes to Pisces. If your natal suns are at the beginning of Pisces, excuse me, at beginning of Pisces season, and they're conjunct to Saturn, I mean, you have a totally different mentality than somebody that has their natal suns conjunct to Neptune. It's very different. It's a very different way of experiencing the world, of being awake to it. Those of you born toward the beginning of Pisces season, this is you awake to reality, height, length, width, quantifiable, real, taking more responsibility in the real world, understanding your place in it. Those of you with your natal suns conjunct Neptune are very much aware of your intuition, your spirituality, reconnecting with your faith, reconnecting and understanding how important faith is, and being able to create from a space of infinite wisdom and trusting your instincts, because your instincts, intuition, and psychic ability will be very high right now and for the next couple of years. So very different groups of Pisces here. Those of you in the middle, it would be really, where do you lean? Are you more toward the beginning of the second decan, or your birthday's more toward the end? So we'll talk about that when we get into the decans. Let's look at what your natal, your ruling dignitaries are doing. So you have Jupiter, which is really largely unaspected this week. I think it has a run-in with the sun, and then they're trine to the moon. It's quincunx to the moon on the 12th. It's trine to the moon before then. No, it says it could quadrate to the moon on the 12th. It's really quick interactions with other planets. So largely it's unaspected. So Jupiter could really surprise you. There could be luck where you did not expect it or realize there ever could be. And then we have Neptune. We have sextile to Pluto. Excuse me, let's go back. Not only luck, but there could be explosions too, because Jupiter could make things go boom. It expands everything. So if you're more pop-offish or more unpredictable this week, it could be because of that as well. Then we have Neptune. Now Neptune is pretty steady right now. It is sextile to Pluto, sextile to Uranus. Those are long-term sextiles of expansion, growth, and opportunity toward the future, recreating human experience and society. It is an outer planet, and it's long term, so interaction. So I don't think it's going to be impacting you directly, but I'm sure you're noticing the shift in society. It's also on the 12th going to be in opposition to the moon, which can create very dreamy energy, especially for those of you born toward the end of the end of Pisces season. So if your birthdays are between, say, the 12th and the 22nd of March, the 12th, October 12th, will be very kind of dreamy for you. You might need a little extra rest, and let yourself because, and really like immerse yourself in water or be around water as much as you can on this day. It'll actually help to ground you and help you understand all that you're experiencing better. Let's go into the decan, shall we? If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Pisces, your natal suns are in the first decan of Pisces. So you are conjunct to Saturn, especially those of you born toward, the Aquarius cusp. So that would be around, say, February 19th, 20th, 21st. Those of you guys, you are conjunct really closely to Saturn and in opposition. All of you are in opposition to Venus this week. this could feel really restrictive and really like the joy has just been sucked out of your life, especially when it comes to financial issues or romance kind of feeling like it's gone blah. It's asking you to discipline yourself. It's asking you to take more conscious effort instead of just going with the flow. It's asking you to be aware of where you haven't taken enough responsibility in those situations in your life. That's what it's asking you to do, and it will be a challenging week because of that energy. You have a semi-square to Chiron, which means that's long-term. Could be this just little pinch reminding you or making you feel like things are more difficult than they need to be. And then we also have a trine to Mars this week for you guys, which will make you want to full speed ahead. But if you focus that on where the hardships are and you focus that energy on being able to take action with regards to what's going on here, what battle do I need to win this week, that's the way you could really make this energy work for you. Through discipline and through not being afraid of hardship, you could really get your warrior on this week. And by the end of the week, by the time Venus gets out of that opposition to Saturn, really feel like you have the upper hand, or that you've grown, but you're gonna have to be conscious of it, be aware of it, and actually take those actions. Let's go on to Pisces 2. So Pisces 2, your natal suns are sextile to Jupiter, so just a whole hell of a lot of opportunity as well as optimism that's just sort of naturally flowing. Now, this isn't a short-term aspect. It does last a while, so it means it's not going to affect you necessarily this week, but the overall efforts of the time that it's sextiling your natal sun will impact you in a very positive, productive, and lucky, very fortunate way. Those of you this week, you could get like the good surprises, because with a sextile to Jupiter, it means that Jupiter could surprise you in very good ways and bring happy surprises into your life. Aside from that, you have a quincunx to Mercury and a quincunx to the Sun through the 13th. So I would not be too quick to put yourself out there or think that you could present yourself or do a public presentation, or this could be when you misrepresent yourself very easily, or you feel like you have to and rush to do it without thinking things through. So calming yourself down in this energy and thinking twice and reading through things twice could really help you this week. Like I said, you still got that sextile to Jupiter, so things could go better than you think, but more preparation is going to lead you better toward things working out well for you, is what I'm saying. And then we have Pisces 3s. So Pisces 3, your natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Pisces. This usually correlates to those of you born between the 12th and 22nd of March. Your natal suns are the ones conjunct to Neptune. So long-term conjunction, years it's going to last, and I'm sure it's putting you in a different mindset and mentality, fluency when it comes to creativity, as well as almost living in two worlds because you have access to them all the time. You have that sextile to Pluto, sextile to Uranus. Long term, you're like at ground zero of all the newness. So if you have this intuition, I'd like to talk to a Pisces 3 about where do you think the planet is actually headed. I think you guys would have insights into the astrology the best, let's put it that way, into the direction the best. I would really like to find one, especially if they're a blogger, to see what they've been noticing. And then we have a quincunx to this new moon solar eclipse. So it will definitely spur you into action and inspire a change in you. I would say look to what house it's happening in to see like what house is Libra, right? To see where in your life this inspiration or this this kind of spur in your side to push you forward is going to be happening. I love you guys so much, and I hope you found this interesting. Please remember to give it a thumbs up and definitely subscribe to this channel and share this with anybody that you know would enjoy it too. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the videos. Aries. Okay, so what's going on in Aries for October 8th through the 14th of 2023? So we have, once again, we have Chiron, of course, still in Aries, going to be there for a while, 17 degrees Aries, and the North Node at 24 degrees Aries. This makes you heavily active as a part of the new moon solar eclipse that's happening in Libra between the end of Aries 2 and the beginning of Aries 3. This is major for you guys. So that correlates to birth dates between, say, the 10th and the 16th. If you're looking more toward the North Node, this is definitely could go all the way up to the end of Aries 3. So we're going to talk about that, but certainly just the fact that Chiron is conjunct your natal sun's Aries 2 is giving you more of a boost of, I've got to change my world, I've got to change my ways, I've got to make sure things are better for everybody else, as well as the North Node being conjunct to the suns of Aries 3s, which is making you future focused. It's almost like a maturation in a way of, I want to take conscious action and sort of realizing or becoming conscious of how much your consciousness and your choices make a difference and how you can really shape your own life. So what's happening with your ruling dignitary? Well, Mars is exiting Libra. It's moving between 27 degrees Libra this week and 1 degree Scorpio. So it's transiting into Scorpio on the 12th. So while this new moon solar eclipse happens, Mars is going to be at 1 degrees Scorpio. Mars is square to Pluto all week long. And it's going to be trine to Saturn all week long and sextile to Venus. This puts Mars in a very, very powerful position that makes for change and makes for no resistance, not taking any shit, not taking any names, dominance, power, strength, pushing forward and not taking any crap. And that's certainly a mentality that will translate to your behavior this week. Major impact forward. And if there was hemming and hawing or uncertainty about what you wanted, I can tell you this right now, there will not be after this week. So let's get into the decans, Aries. If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Aries, it's in the first decan of Aries. You guys are Aries 1. This correlates to essentially March Aries. So anybody born between March 22nd and say April 1st, this would be you guys. If you are at the cusp, so the cusp of I'm sorry, hold on a second. The cusp of Pisces and Aries, you guys are sextile, your natal suns are sextile to Pluto, but only you guys. So that would be anybody, any Aries born around March 22nd to 23rd, maybe 24th. Your natal suns are still sextile to Pluto. We have quincunx to Mars, which means there will be extra agitation, almost just like real nagging you to push forward, not being able to rest, almost like you're trying to, like Princess and the Pea, you're trying to sleep on a mattress with a pea under it. Like it just won't let you rest. You want to take action. This may make you more aggressive and more impulsive this week. Definitely something to look out for because you don't want your impulses to take over you. There's always, with any challenging aspects to Mars, there is a higher chance of injury to yourself or to others, especially because of anger or impulsiveness or dominance. So just be wary. You could be really hot-headed this week. It's always good to take a breath before you make a choice or count to 10 before you say anything or make a choice whenever Mars is putting some pressure on you. You have a semi-square to Jupiter that will remain for a while. It's almost like something's getting to you to make you want to move and shake things up and expand and broaden yourself. Maybe you need to get away. You need to travel a little bit. There could just be something that is not setting right with you right now. So overall, now what we've got going on with Mars for you guys, this could be a very agitating energy this week and up through the 9th, so the first just 2 days of this week. Your natal suns are opposite Mercury, which is going to be a shit show as well. It means that you're not going to be thinking a lot this week. You're going to be impulsively acting on things. So understand that this is a really hot-headed week for you guys, and whatever you can do to wrangle that or redirect it into places where you know you can positively exhale or unload, that would be great. Do not sign any important paperwork this week at all, you guys. You'll want to rush into it. You'll get angry if you can't. really, Spirit is just holding you back because you want to wait for Mercury and Mars to pass so that things aren't so contentious. All right, let's go into Aries 2. So if you know your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Aries, you guys are Aries 2. Your birthdays usually correlate between April 1st and the 11th. You're the ones with your natal suns conjunct to Chiron, especially those of you born around the 9th, 10th, 11th. You're also got the semi-square to Saturn. Things can feel really difficult for you, but they're also inspiring you to make things better for others, to learn from your suffering and to push forward and sort of make it your purpose, almost like a hero complex in a way, to make sure others don't, aren't affected the way that you are. Definitely just this energy of agitation and frustration, or feeling like I can't do anything right, or whatever I do, it ends up being wrong. So always with these Chiron Saturn energies, you're going to need extra self-care to remind yourself of where your blessings are, as well as what is going right, because it will be a lot easier for you over the next year to be naturally pessimistic, and you're going to want to stay away from that. Okay, so if you were born between the 10th and the 16th, which is some of you guys in Aries 2, you are in opposition to the new moon solar eclipse, right? Through the 10th, through the 13th of this week, all your natal suns are going to be opposite the sun. From the 10th of this week, your natal suns are going to be opposite Mercury. Not the best week to get anything done. You can feel really put upon, really oppressed, really discouraged this week. So there's a release that has to happen, especially around this new moon. And it could be quite angry energy that you release, but you do need to let it go. There does need to be a swift change and recalibration, especially with you insisting that it happens because you're angry or frustrated for somebody else's sake. FYI. And then Aries 3s. So if you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Aries, you are Aries 3s. This correlates to birthdays around April 12th through the 22nd. Your natal suns are conjunct the North Node, opposite the South Node. For the next couple of months, it means you are future focused and you don't want to even hear about not being in control of your own life or making your own choices. You want to take the bull by the horns and be the one that is leading the way in your own life. And you're going to see stuff that once you thought you hated, you're going to start liking, you're going to start loving, you're going to see a change in yourself, your character, and your behavior. It's just you're turning a corner in your life. Your natal suns are the ones that are in opposition to this new moon on the 14th. So you will be ground zero, really impacted with a major life change, a conscientiousness, realization about a past event, especially past partnerships that you're now finally able to change or do away from, learn from, and then start moving forward from. And then you have a long-term sextile to Saturn and squared to Pluto. So I would really not want to get in your way. You're quite formidable when you make a decision. And I think this week it's going to be very clear what you want and which direction you're headed. So I love you guys like crazy. Thank you so much for all your support. If you know somebody who would like this video, share it with them. And please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video. I love you guys. And I will talk to you soon. Bye. Taurus, this is your weekly astrology forecast from October 8th through the 14th, 2023, culminating in the new moon solar eclipse in Libra. We're going to talk about all of it. What is going on in Taurus? A whole bunch still. We have Jupiter at 13 degrees still in retrograde, Uranus at 22 degrees still in retrograde. Both of them will be in retrograde through the end of the year, Uranus through January essentially. So they still got some retrograding to do, but everything else is coming out of retrograde. Just a reminder, Pluto comes out of retrograde this week. Venus and Mercury are already in retrograde, though Mercury will go back in retrograde in December. It won't last that long, however. Actually, it's quite traditional for Mercury to be in retrograde around the holiday season. Could be why there's so many family arguments, but whatever. So So for those of you born mid-Taurus season, Taurus 2s, your natal suns are still conjunct Jupiter. And then those of you born toward the end, your natal suns are still conjunct Uranus. Let's move on to what Venus is doing. So Venus is at 29 degrees Leo, but she is moving into Virgo on the 9th. So the day after this begins, on the 9th, Venus will be in Virgo, and she'll move all the way from 29 degrees Leo to 5 degrees Virgo. Venus is in her fall position in Virgo. She is not comfortable in Virgo. She's just not. Venus is luxury, and she's pleasure. She's sensuality, and she's decadence. You know, the girl knows how to have fun. But in Virgo, not so much. It's all tight wad, tight belt, restriction, clarify or justify everything that you do. Put the money in order. Venus gets in Virgo, Venus gets turned on by consistency, doing follow through. Reliability. That's what really turns her on. Those are the qualities that are desirable and most pleasurable for Venus in Virgo. Now, that's not so bad, but the fact that as Venus enters Virgo, she's in opposition to Saturn all frickin' week long. This is very restrictive energy. This is going from Venus in Leo, where she's finally out of retrograde, feeling like she can move around and be a diva, to whoop, secretary again, little miss all buttoned up. And then with Saturn, it just makes everything really, really restricted and really, really difficult, and sometimes even sad. So this week is not going to be the easiest week to indulge or feel really kind of flamboyant or great about yourself. It will not last forever, I promise you. She is sextile to Mars. She is going to be semi-square the Sun and the new moon, FYI, which means there's going to be a nagging. This something that is just nagging at you to make you change something or encourage a difference somehow to come about, which will be a catalyst for change. This nagging, this irritation, maybe even feeling all those limitations will definitely be what catalyzes a switch or a change, either in your behavior or your perspective. These restrictions can be very difficult, but she is sextile to Mars, which means she is motivated to make that change, and she's got the energy to do so. So it's almost like being backed into a corner to clarify what is important to you, so you put things in the right direction. Maybe organize things or reprioritize things as well. Let's go into the decans, shall we, Taurus? So if you know your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Taurus, you are Taurus 1s. This correlates to Taurus birthdays, basically April 22nd through May 1st would be Taurus 1s. Your natal suns are in opposition to Mars and sextile to Saturn. This means you're going to have to be very, very disciplined and watch being pop-offish. Anytime your natal suns are in opposition to Mars, there is a high possibility of injury. So don't push yourself and watch your anger. It is very important, especially for your safety this week. The long-term sextile to Saturn just means over this year, things will be really good for you at work. You'll see a lot of productivity. Even if you're in a frustrating area at work right now, by the end of this year into February, before Saturn transits into the second decan of Pisces, you guys will definitely you'll see your career take shape and opportunities really open up for you to take more leadership and personal authority over your life. The square to Pluto with your natal suns is long term. It's going to make you very formidable and kind of intimidating, to be honest with you. People won't really want to fuck with you, and it could also make you a little more relentless and ruthless, especially because Mars is involved right now. Watch yourself, because this could easily lead to injury, at least injury of your reputation, FYI. And then we have that trine to Venus, which means there is an attractiveness about you. There is a sense of sensuality about you and certainty about your own self-worth. So this is a blessing. This is good. You just might have to fight off some trouble this week. So let's move on to Taurus 2s. If you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Taurus, you guys are Taurus 2s. This correlates to birthdays in May, beginning of May 1st through the 11th. You guys are the ones with your natal suns conjunct to Jupiter, which can make you extra big-headed, super certain of yourself. It's very optimistic. That's wonderful. But you can also like expect too much out of every situation that you enter. So it's just something that you want to be conscious of. Through the 10th, so the first couple of days this week, your natal suns will also be quincunx to Mercury, and through the 13th, they'll be quincunx to the Sun. This means that you'll have conflict with expressing yourself correctly or true to yourself or really being understood well. Not the greatest time to take tests, give presentations, do interviews. I would honestly reschedule them more toward the end of the week or toward next week, just an FYI. So, and with that conjunction to Jupiter, you'll expect that things go a lot better than they actually do with that quincunx to the Sun and Mercury. So I would just sort of like lay low, not lay low like you have to hide, but like don't do any of that important shit or public shit right now. It's best to schedule it next week. So what about Taurus 3s? If you know your natal suns are between 20 and 29 degrees Taurus, that's you guys, your Taurus 3s. This correlates to Taurus birthdays between around May 12th through the 22nd. Your natal suns are the ones conjunct to Uranus. So for the next year or so, individuality, exceptionality, and uniqueness are high priorities. Really establishing your sense of self and even just acting out rebelliously for the sake of rebellion because you don't want things, even if you make things more difficult for yourself, it's like you don't want things to be normal. You don't want to play by the rules or by the expectations. You want to sort of assert your own uniqueness. At this time, if you're attracted to anybody, it will be people who allow you your freedom and allow you your space and encourage your uniqueness, or even are intriguing or interesting or offbeat. That's what will appeal to you, whether it's people or opportunities. It's those things. Got a long-term sextile to Neptune and trine to Pluto. This means major creativity is overtaking you, and you are just a unique little butterfly right now. So you are definitely the most dynamic Taurus. If you're at the cusp, so the cusp between Taurus and Gemini, so that would be, I don't know, May 21st, 22nd, maybe 20th, 21st, 22nd. You guys are square to Venus this week, so there's going to be some tension when it comes to value systems. Could be some money issues. Could be just having problems with your hair. This is not a good time to make any large purchases. You could be too spendthrifty and spend money unwisely. It's not a great time to for dating. It would be awkward, and definitely don't do your hair or change your look or your environment's aesthetic this week. Wait till next week. Taurus, I hope that helped you. And if you know anybody else who you think would love this information, share it with them. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. I love you guys. All right, let's move on to Gemini. So, Geminis, this is your weekly astrology forecast between October 8th to the 14th. What is happening in the zodiac sign of Gemini? Nothing really big, nothing really important. So what's going on with Mercury? Well, Mercury is transiting. No, it's not. I'm sorry. It's moving from Libra 6 degrees to 17 degrees. So it's not transiting. It's flying. It's moving quick. Mercury is kind of back to its full speed, which is really wonderful. Mercury is in opposition to Chiron through the 12th of this week. So that could just be harsh, talking harshly or being extra sensitive to what people say, taking it as major criticism and being super sensitive or hurt by it, or things that people have said to you from the past that hurt you, then coming up and affecting you. And then we also have 1014. We got to talk about this because it's something that not many astrologers have talked about, and I even missed it. It's that's stupid. I even missed it in my new moon solar eclipse video. This new moon solar eclipse is at 21 degrees Libra. At that time, Mercury is at 17 degrees. That puts it firmly in a 4-degree orb, which means a very close conjunction to this new moon. So Mercury is a part of it. It's actually, I mentioned Mars, but it's actually closer than Mars is. So there's something about information or realization or a consciousness that sort of comes to be, a noticeability, a realization, information that comes through, or a message that finally comes through that could catalyze or be a part of this new awareness or new partnership or just new visibility, depending on what house this is happening in for you. So I would definitely check that. Mercury is also most of this week semi-square to Venus, which means there could be a lot of frustrating conversations or energies. Your words don't come out right. You end up being awkward in your speech or saying things that I don't know, that aren't so flattering or don't come out the right way. Just an FYI, you could be tripping over your tongue this week. So Gemini, let's go into the decans. If your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Gemini, you guys are Gemini 1. This correlates to Gemini birthdays at the end of May. So May 22nd through, say, 31st. That would be you guys. Your natal suns are in a long-term semi-square to Chiron, which is going to make you extra sensitive in terms of your self-esteem. So this is something to really watch out for and be aware of, and know that this challenge is put to you to help you form a deeper relationship to yourself, but different things may come up that challenge how you feel about who you are and how much you're worth over the next year. We also have a square to Saturn right now for the next year. This is not the best week for you because you also have a square to Venus this week. It's like your natal suns sit right in between the Venus-Saturn opposition. And so there's a lot of challenge here with restriction in terms of how you can spend your money, how you feel appreciated. There could be major sadness and bouts of low self-esteem because of the feeling of being just too restricted and not having enough pleasure in your life. This isn't going to be the easiest week. I would say do things, even if they're cheap things, like bubble baths or doing your own toenails, or it's allowing yourself to sort of rest and sit out on your back porch for a while. Anything that can help you sort of meditate and take these beautiful indulgences where you can, that don't cost you anything. This will be helping to. This will help to ground you this week. You also have a trine to Mercury through the 10th, which means that you will understand things very clearly. You will have high perception and high articulation. So things will come into you finely tuned, and so this could give you some insight as to why answers to why you've been so constrained, conflicted, or restricted. So you might get some answers this week, so that's really good. Let's go on to Gemini 2. If you know your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Gemini, that's you guys. It correlates to birthdays early June, so June 1st through the 11th, in and around there. Your natal suns are square to the sun through the 13th, and if you're born more toward, say, the 11th, 12th, or the 10th, 11th, 12th, you guys are going to be, your natal suns are going to be trine to the sun all week long, including during this new moon solar eclipse. So just an FYI. We also have a trine to Mercury from the 10th on, so your natal suns will be trine to Mercury during this new moon solar eclipse. And with that semi-square to Chiron, I'm just going to go ahead and say this, guys. This is going to be a really revolutionary, revealing energy or revealing week, sort of an aha realization about yourself, something that will ease situations and heal a situation. Answers that you have needed will come to you. Also being able to communicate yourself or get some positive feedback or communications in, or be able to represent yourself in speech and written word very, very well. This is sort of an easement or good news that comes in to help how you are perceived, how you are seen, could even be your reputation. Just an FYI. Now we have Gemini 3s, and it's definitely you guys who are all trine to this new moon, but especially you, those of you born, say, between the 12th and the 15th. Your natal suns are trine the moon and trine the sun, trine the new moon on the 14th, and trine the sun from the 13th on. We have a long-term square to Neptune, which is going to inspire a lot of distraction, but also creativity. So definitely a deeper understanding of just creativity and being able to manifest out of nowhere. Your natal suns are sextile to the North Node, which means you definitely want to make progress in your life. And you're becoming more conscious, more aware. It's almost like a great awakening for you of what your capabilities really are. And then we have a long-term quincunx to Pluto, which could be quite formidable energy, or things could really start to irritate you when they're uncertain or when they get in your way. And then you have a trine to Mars through the 12th. If you're at the cusps, so that would be the Gemini Cancer cusp. So June, say 20th, 21st, 22nd, you guys will have this trine to Mars all week long. That means real like high energy, good energy, certainty and conviction, a sense of authority about yourself, and an impactful energy toward others. I gotta say, this is really beautiful energy for you, especially with this new moon. If you are Gemini risings, which is probably not you guys because this is a sun sign thing, but for those of you who have the rising sign and the sun sign in Gemini, if this is your rising sign, then all of this new moon solar eclipse is happening in your 5th house. So this is a big, huge breakthrough when it comes to romance, your life purpose, optimism, your dreams and aspirations for life, really finding your courage and your certainty to fall in love with something and have it work out. This is a beautiful breakthrough time for you. I love you guys. I hope this video has helped. If you know somebody who you know would like it, please share it with them. Please don't forget to like this video and then subscribe to the channel so you will always get notifications on the information over here. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Cancer, this is your week ahead astrology forecast for October 8th through the 14th of 2019. Including this new moon solar eclipse. So for the full breakdown of how it's going to impact you guys, definitely check out the new moon solar eclipse video that I did for all the specifics. But let's get into this whole week for you, okay? What's going on in Cancer? Nada, nothing. Nothing going on in Cancer. But what's happening with the moon? A big shit, hello. It is part of the new moon solar eclipse on the 14th. So what's happening prior to that? Well, the moon begins its journey in Leo this week on the 8th, and it moves into Libra and clearly ends there in the new moon in Libra at 21 degrees Libra. So briefly, the new moon is conjunct the South Node. It is also conjunct Mercury. It is also loosely conjunct Mars, and it's square to Pluto. So this is a very significant position for the new moon, and a new moon, of course, represents, especially for us, welcoming in a new cycle starting fresh. So on the 10th, the moon is going to be conjuncting Venus. If you are a Cancer 1, so your birthdays are between, say, June 22nd and the 31st of June, this is going to be an especially romantic day for you guys because it is sextile to your natal suns, and we'll get deeper into that a little later. But especially romantic, beautiful, confident day where you're just going to shine and radiate. Really nice, powerful, beautiful day. Could even mean some opportunities that are financial opportunities coming through for you as well. Very nice. And then on the 12th, the moon is going to be in opposition to Neptune, which puts it in Virgo. Opposition to Neptune means there could be a lot of distraction and dreaminess. This is going to be specifically impactful to those of you in the 3rd decan of Cancerians, because it'll put the moon sextile to your natal suns, and your natal suns are already trine to Neptune. So this is a particularly psychic energy for you. Do expect to be more dreamy and need more sleep on this day. Grounding yourself around this day, not necessarily in the earth, but definitely where the earth meets the land, meets the sea, or meets a body of water. If you can have a wild water, like actual natural water, not just a pool, but like to soak yourself, be able to go in a river if the river's not too dangerous. Lake, stream, definitely the ocean is probably the best place. But if you're landlocked, then definitely take a bath, especially a salt bath. Water will actually help to ground you and to clarify and purify you and magnify your psychic energy and psychic ability on this day, which will be very profound, perhaps to the point of clairvoyance. Definitely trust your dreams on this day. Maybe get your dream journal prepared or ready in advance. This is going to be a very powerful time for you. On the 13th, of October, your natal, so the moon is going to conjunct Mercury. This is very insightful and intuitive, an ability to process psychic information, very profound energy. So this is the day right before the new moon solar eclipse. So this could be almost like where we get a preview, an intuitive preview and clear insights into or be able to clearly communicate how you feel in some way, or somebody will finally clearly communicate to you how they feel about you. Definitely consciously, it'll be conscious, maybe it'll be written down, it'll just be very, very open and clear to you suddenly. And then we have that new moon in Libra, which is profound and powerful, and I think it's going to open up a portal for all of us, but especially some of us, and we're going to get into that now. So if you are if your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Cancer, you are a Cancer 1. This correlates to birthdays between the 22nd of June and the 31st of June. Especially those of you who are born on the cusp. So those of you who have a June 22nd or June 23rd birthday, your natal suns are in a loose, they're in a 9 to 10 degree orb of this new moon solar eclipse. That means one thing. It means that your natal suns are trine to this new moon solar eclipse. This new moon solar eclipse is going to clarify and clear up some information with regards to some hurtful or really painful, challenging conflict that you had in the past. Maybe some place where you were really attacked. And it will heal, and it will grant you almost clemency and healing, insights, tranquility, peace, and restored balance with regards to this issue. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy for you guys. Now, for the rest of you, all week long, your natal suns are sextile to Venus. So on the 10th, this is a romantic day for all of you. Really ooey gooey, beautiful romantic day as the moon conjuncts Venus, and they're both sextile to your natal sun. This is a very sensual, sexual day. It's lovely. It's lovely. And then you're also all week long, all year long, trine to Saturn. So over the course of this year into next year, February, March, you guys will be experiencing opportunity, tranquility, balance, advancement, especially when it comes to your career and to growing up and becoming and taking more personal responsibility for your own life. You will ease into it and things will work out over a year. It doesn't mean you can't have a bad week, but over the course of the year, you will see how things actually work out, and they will work out well. You also have a trine to Mars this week, which is exceptionally powerful because it means that energy and battles, they're working in your favor. Progress is working in your favor. There is an understanding about your forwardness that actually works this week. And I don't know, it's just you could trust your drive right now. This is really nice energy, helpful energy. Your natal sun's cusps only. So that's June 22nd and 23rd. Your natal suns are going to be trine to the South Node, which means there is some peace or harmony coming out of a difficult situation from the past, a situation from your childhood, whichever it is. Through the 10th of this week, your natal suns are also square to Mercury. So there could be some confusion, some mishaps, nail in your tire, something like that happens up to that point, but it will tranquilize and ease up after that. You ready? Don't make any important moves when it comes to communication, signing important paperwork or anything until after the 10th, you guys. Just an FYI. If you are your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Cancer, you are Cancer 2s. So that correlates to July 1st through 11th birthdays. Your natal suns are going to be square to Mercury from the 10th onward. It's only going to be a week. Mercury moves really, really quickly. But they are square to your natal suns while this new moon happens. So there is some challenging news that is going to come out about the past that you're going to have to confront and look at and address and learn from. There's also some information here that is going to empower you and help to project you forward with regards to this really complicated situation from the past. Clarity, it will come to you. Up through the 13th, your natal suns are also square to the sun, which can cause challenges with how you feel about yourself, the way that you look, especially if people are talking shit about you or you feel kind of oppressed in a way with how people are talking about you, your reputation, or just the way you think about yourself. This will definitely be clarified through the confrontation of the information up through the 10th and into the new moon. There's a sextile to Jupiter that's been going on for a while and will continue. And what does that mean? It means everything's going to work out positively. There's optimism here and there's so many opportunities. So even if it seems like it's messed up, it is all leading to an extraordinary place. And then we have 10th, 11th. If you were born on the 10th or 11th of July, your natal sun is in a perfect square to the new moon. Not a perfect square, but it's in a tight square to the new moon, less than a 5-degree orb. So what does that mean? That especially for you guys, there's going to be challenges confronted, hardships confronted. There's tough energy that you have been blocked, and this block is going to be released through confrontation and learning. But it's almost like you got to confront it, but that's okay because the information is coming, so you can. And you're going to see this clog is going to start to unblock after this new moon. It's got something to do with some sort of attack from the past. Attack or difficulty, struggle, thinking that you can't do it, or something really handicapping you from the past. But the clarity has to come out. The expose has to come out. That's what's going to happen around the new moon. And then you'll see that pathway open up over the next 6 months. Let's go into Cancer 3s. So Cancer 3s, if you know your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Cancer, and your birthdays therefore would be between the 12th and the 22nd of July, you guys are Cancer 3s. Your natal suns, all of you, especially those of you born between, say, the 12th and the 15th, especially you guys, but all of you technically, your natal suns are square to the new moon, square to the nodes, in opposition to Pluto. Your natal suns are sextile to Uranus, trine to Neptune, and sextile to, what is it? Sextile, hold on, to Mercury. On the sextile to, Neptune on the 12th. This is very psychic energy for you. So if you get premonitions, this is really, really important information that you just kind of write down and take note of. But for all of you guys, same thing as I said for Cancer, for the end of Cancer 2s, it's really all of you. This is some real connection with the past, because the new moon is conjunct the south node, and your natal suns have been square the south node for a while now, and they still are, and they will continue to be. Your natal suns, especially if you're born toward the end of Cancer season, the cusps, in opposition to Pluto all year long. This is going to have a very powerful and aggressive impact. It's your natal suns that are also square to Mars all week long. That means there's aggression, there's impact, there's dominance, there's confrontation with people who may want to dominate you, pain from the past, things that could have been hidden and kept almost stifled, maybe kept to yourself, or if somebody's been trying to stifle you, there is this energy of clarity and breakthrough that is going to happen there. And I gotta tell you, it's going to be profound and life-changing, 100%. You let me know in the comments below, Cancerians. I'd love to see how this impacts you. I don't think this is going to impact, bam, you're going to feel it hit on the 14th, but it will play out over the next 6 months. I think to the, 25th of March, when we have a full moon in Libra, and everything will ease out then. And then 2 weeks after that, in the beginning of April of 2024, we have a total lunar eclipse that's going to be happening in Aries. So we have a partial annular lunar eclipse happening in Libra now, and then a total eclipse happening in Aries. There's a lot of dynamic changes that's happening to our individualism, how we see ourselves. And Cancerians, this is really opening a portal for you that begins and will then be clarified and completed by next year, between the end of March, beginning of April. This is just the beginning, but I gotta tell you, it's all very beautiful. It's all very beautiful. Huge life changes. You'll never be the same after this. I think it'll bring you to a place of more power and more capabilities. Yeah, that's what I feel. But ultimately, let's see. I'd love to have your comments below as you experience these energies. All right. So let's go on to Leo. Leo, this is your week ahead astrology forecast for October 8th through October 14th, which, yes, includes the new moon solar eclipse. We're going to get into that. What's going on in Leo itself? So Venus starts at the very beginning of this week at 29 degrees Leo, but soon thereafter, on the 9th, she finally moves into Virgo. She has been with you guys since before Leo season. This has been a long haul with you and Venus, and she's finally leaving. And I gotta say, even though she's usually really blessed energy, this whole fucking time, this bitch has been square to Uranus, and now she's in opposition to Saturn. So for you guys, she's just been like, there's been a lot of fuckery going on when it comes to that Venus energy, and she's been restricted or rebellious or restricted by her own rebellion in some way. So it has not been the joyride it could have been. I'm just saying, yeah, you guys were kind of robbed, but she's finally moved on. Thank God. And then you'll have basically a clear house, an open house, like the relatives have finally left, the diva's finally gone, you know. And then you have the moon from the 8th through the 10th, which means it's over the 8th to the 10th, it's going to conjunct your natal suns. And we'll talk about that when we get into the decans. Let's talk about what's going on with the sun. So, of course, the sun is part of a new moon. It's conjuncting the moon on the 14th of October. But, of course, it is also conjunct Mercury for most of this week. By the end of the week, it is going to be trine to Saturn and square to Pluto, and then conjunct to the south node as well, all during this new moon. That's toward the end of the week, so like say October 12th, 13th, and on. And then it's an opposition to Chiron a little bit before that, making things difficult, whatever held you back or challenged your self-esteem. This is what it's all going to bubble up and bring up for you. Let it happen. Trust the ebb, trust the flow of this, because major breakthroughs or changes are happening for you guys. On the 8th, let's get into the decans. So if you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Leo, you're in the first decan. This correlates to birthdays between, say, July 22nd and the 31st. So July Leos. We have on the 8th a conjunction to the moon. This is always a really strong day. It's a strong position. It's almost like your own personal new moon, where you feel fresh and open and really understand who the fuck you are, so it can help you with confidence and just certainty about yourself. There's a peace and a wholeness here that you will experience once a month, and this is really nice an energy. There's also a sextile to Mercury through the 10th, which means there's a lot of clarity and a lot of certainty and a lot of self-knowledge and understanding. Communication is really going to open up doors for you in the beginning of the week, so hop to it. Cusps only your natal suns, which means July 22nd, 23rd, your natal suns are in opposition to Pluto, which means everything that's happening to you is going to be amplified by 1,000. Pluto is right in the middle of this new moon as well. So there's just a lot of understanding and perception there. And I would not doubt your perception for a second. I think you will see things very clearly and maybe intimidate the crap out of people. But if anything, you are the ones that are bringing the change into the room. FYI. So let's go on to Leo 2s. If you know your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Leo, you guys are Leo 2s. This correlates to birthdays between August 1st through the 11th. So in and around there, just those are estimates, but in and around there. So we have a sextile to Mercury from the 10th onward. This is beautiful energy that will really help you articulate and communicate well. It's saying put your information out there, hop to it, go for it, because you will succeed. There's opportunities opening up, especially through information and comprehension and sharing your ideas. You're also sextile the sun through the 13th. So I would say the 10th through the 13th are especially powerful times for you, where people are going to listen to you and really notice you, hear you, trust you, believe you. There's a lot, and you're really going to have your mind very clear. So it's a great time to take a test or give a presentation, application, audition, whatever you guys are doing to really present yourself and show yourself between the 10th and the 13th. This is a really great time for you. You have a long-term square to Jupiter, which is going to bring about confidence and optimism. And then you're also going to have a trine to Chiron, which means healing and understanding your self-worth again because you've been through things. So this is a really beautiful day where you can share your journey and share your story and have the confidence that it's going to make a difference, because it is. If you were born around August 10th or 11th, your natal suns are going to be sextile to the new moon that is happening. This is really powerful energy, which means it's opening up a lot of opportunities for you, especially through shit that you've experienced from the past. And I gotta say, it's just one of the, you better get your manifestation on, because it is going to be powerful and is going to be yours and is going to happen quickly. Let's move on to Leo 3s. Leo 3s, if you know your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Leo, you guys are Leo 3s. This correlates to birthdays between August 12th through the 22nd. So in and around those days. All of your natal suns, all of you, are sextile to this new moon. They are also sextile to Mars and sextile to the sun, pretty much. Well, the sun is more sextile to you guys from the 13th on. Your square to Uranus, long-term square to Uranus, which is just over this next year or so, understanding and asserting your own independence and individuality and finding your uniqueness. You're also in a long-term trine to the North Node and sextile to the South Node. So your own talents, your own skills, discovering your personal abilities that may have been hindered because of some sort of injury that had happened to you in the past, but sort of now that clearing so you can recognize it and see it and remember who the fuck you are, and almost in a lot of ways be brought back to life because of it. Opportunities and doors will open for you at this time. Around this new moon, it will start this new journey of rediscovery between now over the next 6 months for you guys, up through the end of March, beginning of April of next year. And your natal suns are also, if you're at the cusps, so this would be, say if you're born on the 22nd or 23rd of August, in opposition to Saturn. So if you feel like you're being oppressed or you feel like you're being held back, this is especially going to offer relief from you, or this sense of take it seriously. Anything that happens to you now will impact you long term. It will change your life long term because it'll change your life purpose long term. And that opposition to Saturn is going to see to that. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It just means you're taking shit seriously and you're going to commit to it. So this is really reintroducing you to talents or skills that you had in the past that maybe you had stopped for some reason. Well, it's coming back and doors are opening. I love you guys so much. Please feel free to comment below. Share this video with people you think it would help as well. And don't forget to subscribe over here because we need our channel to grow. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the videos. Virgo. Okay. Virgo, so this is your week ahead astrology forecast for December, October 8th through the 14th of 2023, right up through that new moon solar eclipse. Virgo, what's going on in Virgo? So we have Venus coming in as of the 9th, and this is really beautiful energy and really romantic energy, conjunct your suns. Now, she's going to move between the 9th and the 14th. She'll move between 0 and 5 degrees Virgo. So she's really conjuncting the natal suns of those of you born at the very beginning, basically August Virgos. What does it mean? It means beauty. It means optimism. It means going with the flow, being graceful, maybe even being a little decadent or indulgent. But joie de vie and la vie en rose, you know, it's that kind of energy that's coming to you. So you can expect optimism and grace and happiness right now, and especially kind of being more celebratory and a little bit more indulgent as well. Let's talk about what Mercury is going through. So Mercury is in Libra, and it will move between 6 and 17 degrees. It is moving like a fast, mad bitch. I'll tell you, Mercury moves quick. It is conjunct the new moon. It is actually more conjunct the new moon than Mars is, though Mars is a very powerful energy. Mars is within 10 degrees of this new moon. Mercury is only within 4 degrees of it. So it is really in a tight conjunction with this new moon. It is also in opposition to Chiron from the 11th on. By the 12th, Mercury will conjunct the sun. It will remain conjunct the sun, of course, the rest of the week. And it is conjunct the moon by the 13th. So there's some call or message or information that comes into clarity, feeding into this dynamic change that ends up coming out and becoming into consciousness by the 14th. This is exceptional energy. And the fact that Mercury is consciousness, Mercury is thought and intellect. It is stuff that you can measure. It's not just concept. Uranus is more, you know, conceptual, all those big old Einstein level mathematics. But Mercury is 100% very practical and pragmatic. So it's definitely something you can see. You'll be able to put this into order. You'll be able to comprehend it, understand it. This will be verified information. So the clarity here is quite profound. Let's go into the decans. So Virgo, if you know your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Virgo, you guys are Virgo ones. This correlates to August Virgo. So say August 12th through the August 22nd through the 31st. That would be you guys, Virgo ones. Your natal suns are going to be conjunct to Venus all week long. You're conjunct to the moon on the 10th. This is an especially romantic day for you. Conjunct Venus and the fucking moon? Are you kidding me? This is really ooey gooey, lovey-dovey emotions. This is just like almost like a cat purring inside of you all fucking day. Very sensual energy, very beautiful, a wonderful day to spoil yourself. This is very nice, a beautiful me day, you know, beauty day. This is a great spa day for you guys. All week long, your natal suns are going to be semi-square to the sun, and by the 11th, they are semi-square to Mercury. What does this mean? It means something is nagging at you, and something is coming into consciousness, and something is alerting you or making you aware. And it could very well be that you can't articulate it very well, so it's more like gather the information on it. That's what's really important. All week long, and this is true for you, especially cuspers, your natal suns are in opposition to Saturn. So this could make you feel restricted or held back in some ways, or like you're holding back how you feel about somebody. Either way, it's just making you take things much more seriously. But this is an energy that has been going on with you guys for a while, and it will go on all year long. There's a little bit of optimism and maybe even foreshadowing for how things are going to be once Saturn finally fucking moves on by the beginning of next year. We also have a square, sextile to Mars. Sextile to Mars between the Mars and Sun is just super powered energy. You're going to have a lot of stamina and a lot of chutzpah, and conjunct to Venus, oh, bitch, this is going to be, I think you need that opposition to Saturn is just going to make you more mature and not allow you to make such irresponsible decisions, because this is very powerful sexual energy, very virile and very fertile. Just an FYI. Let's move on to Virgo 2s. If you know your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Virgo, you guys are Virgo 2s. This correlates to birthdays between around September 1st through the 11th. Your natal suns are in a long-term trine to Jupiter, which means an easement and an optimism that will actually lead a lot of grace and opportunity in your life. Maybe you're traveling more, learning more about world, religion, and different cultures. This is really where your mind wants to grow and expand. Let it. And then you are conjunct the moon on the 11th, which will give a dynamic of optimism, happiness, openness, fun, and playfulness to your situation without you even thinking of it. Let's go on to Virgo 3s. So Virgo 3s, you know your natal sun. You are a Virgo 3 if you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Virgo. This correlates to birthdays between September 12th through the 22nd of September. Your natal suns are conjunct the moon on the 12th. Don't be surprised, because you guys are in a long-term opposition to Neptune. Don't be surprised if all of a sudden you get tired on that day. Definitely give yourself a soak in a salt bath or a hot tub. If you have natural water around you, especially the ocean, go buy it. Put your butt on the soil and your feet in the water. This is very important for balancing you guys out. If you can immerse yourself in the water because it's safe, only because it's safe, like this is about experiencing the tranquility and the elevated, magnified consciousness that being in connection with water and having water be able to seep into your skin will really fucking help you with a lot of psychic clairvoyance on this day. So let yourself be tired. Let yourself sleep. There's messages that are coming through. You have a long-term trine to Pluto and trine to Uranus as well, which means there is a connection to the ether here for the long term with you guys. And it's sort of like this sort of easing into everything that is new. All the consciousness is almost like I knew it was happening. I knew it had to. And you guys are the most malleable of all Virgos right now. So these changes won't come as a surprise to you. I love you guys so much. I hope that you are able to have a wonderful, wonderful October 14th. Please feel free to leave your comments below and share this video with somebody that you know will also benefit from it a great deal. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much for enjoying this energy, and I hope this new format really works for you. You can jump around and listen to all the signs. Overall, this is a pretty big week, and I don't want anybody to think, and I said this on the new moon eclipse video, this isn't like, bam, everything changes on the 14th. Oh, you will feel the shift, and I think there are huge repercussions that are going to start to fall out. But everything about this isn't going to completely be out and transform everything until 6 months from now. And so I kind of want you guys to trust this energy. There is a consciousness change, especially between our sense of individuality and our sense of partnership, a balance that we need to strike again, a recalibration that has to happen. And this is really the beginning of it. And the nodes mark that, because by the time we're in, I think, this total eclipse in Aries, the nodes will have totally changed. I think by that point, they'll be in the first decan of Well, definitely the second decan, if not the third decan of both Aries and Libra. So at that point, it's almost like now we're ready to begin again. Now we're ready to realize after everything we've realized. Now we're ready to recalibrate and start up again and start fresh. So you let me know in the comments below, guys. I love you so much, and thank you so much for watching this video. I will talk to you soon. Bye.